them people that you've just mentioned, they can't compete with me when I'm up and running. You don't know me. A conspiracy to possess firearm with intent to endanger life. 9 people won that case. 1 person got found not guilty, and that was my client. That case was simply based on a mobile phone. After the case, he said, I don't know how you did that, Mr. Yakoob, but I want to be like you. I was going through the WhatsApps, my client's WhatsApp. And on the day in question, where my client had been seen going to the scene of the crime.
So today we are joined by solicitor Akhmed Yakoob. How are you doing, bro?
I'm okay, brother. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. It's been a canny little trip coming down here, mate.
Thank you very much for taking the time out to come and talk to me, because time is the most expensive gift that you can give to somebody, because you don't know how much time you have left. Everyone knows how much money they've got left. They just have to check their bank account, check their safe or whatever, but you don't know how much time you have left. So for you to come all the way down here and give me your time, I'm grateful.
No, it's appreciated, mate, on your end. I've seen you all over social media, TikTok, Instagram, absolutely everywhere. You're on the podcast scene hard right now. And that was one of the reasons why I approached you. I thought, look, I want to speak to this guy because you intrigued me anyway, regardless of the podcast. Someone like you was like, you're inspirational, you're doing these things, you're saving lives, you're changing lives, you're helping people. No matter which way people look at that, that's what you're doing, and that's a fact, and that's what I appreciate, bro. So why law? Why did you get into this? What's up, people? If you're enjoying our content, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you press that notification bell so you don't miss another episode.
I got into law 2 reasons. I'll quickly go into them. One of my close friends that I grew up with got involved in a case, and it was an attempted murder case. He ended up serving 9 years in prison, and I felt that he was mistreated by the justice system, and I felt that if he had proper representation, he wouldn't have done them 9 years inside. That was one scenario. And then a second scenario, another person that I know gets caught and charged with a massive case. I don't want to get into the case. And I was taken, because I was studying at the time, I think I was at college. So I was taken to this solicitor's office with that family, just because I knew them, just for moral support. And the solicitor sitting there mentioned some crazy figures in terms of fees, you see. And the family agreed. And it took the solicitor 23 minutes for the family to agree the fees. And I was like, wow.
These are the money.
This guy's good. And I said to him, and I thought to myself, if this guy can just do that in front of me, what he's done, I can do that, but I could do it twice better.
Yeah.
No disrespect to that guy.
No, that's fair enough. But what gave you that confidence, though? Because not everyone can sit in that room just for moral support and think they can do the job of a professional.
I've been confident since day one, you know.
Have you? Is that your upbringing, do you think, as well?
Probably, yeah. Probably. And I've had that sort of always, that alpha concept. I don't know where it came from. I think over the years it's grown, and I've gradually grown more into it. But I've always wanted to do something big, you know, since we were little kids. For example, we was 10 years old, primary school. I used to say to my friends, watch, one day I'm going to smash it. They used to look at me and think, are you mad or something? You're only 10. But I've been a dreamer. I've been a dreamer and a risk taker since I was little.
You need that, though, don't you? I'm the same, like.
To succeed in life, you have to.
So when did you feel that actually come into fruition then? From obviously being a dreamer as a young'un to getting into law? Did you just think, okay, once you saw that case, it's something I'm going to have to study now? Were you already studying?
I was only at college. I wasn't studying law.
Okay.
I was only at college. And then I went to uni. And then I just started, put my head down after uni, probably straight after uni. Then I got into law. I got it's called a training contract, where after you finish your academic qualifications, you have to work under someone for 2 years.
For free as well, isn't it? No.
They have to pay, but I did mine's for free, literally, because I wanted to get into it. Mm-hmm. You get it? So I wasn't worried about the money. When you're young, you work to earn. You work to learn, you can earn later. So my focus primarily was to learn at the time. and to make as much connections and make my network as big as possible. And not just big, good people. It's quality over quantity, isn't it? People that I know will benefit me in the future, which is what happened.
Did you feel different at uni? Because I know when I went to uni, I looked around a lot of my peers, if you like, and I thought that, not that they didn't perform well in uni, but I felt like there was something more than uni that was for me. You know, I felt like burning, like I want to do something bigger than just get a job from uni.
Of course, I always felt that. The thing is, uni, it's good. Let me tell you why it's good. Because you meet people from all walks of life. You meet people who've come from nothing. You meet people who've come from abroad, poor families. You meet people who are from wealthy families. You meet people who are into different stuff. So it's good in terms of networking and socializing and meeting other people. But I'll be honest with you, I hardly attended any lectures in uni, any seminars. The only thing I attended was revision classes, and I went and passed the exams. So it's not difficult.
Yeah.
It's designed just to pass exams, basically.
Just to see how much effort you can put in, isn't it?
That's all it is. But the one thing is, with uni, it's a bit different. So if you don't go to uni, they're not going to really, take you off the course or something like that. School's a bit different. School and college where you have to go on a daily basis. University was a bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
But in terms of qualifications and teaching, they only teach you how to pass exams. So you could not go to no lectures and then just get a book, revision book, where you can learn what's going to come up in the exams and go and pass the exams without going to any lectures. So
yeah, of course.
Designed like that.
Did you do that on purpose? Did you think I'm going to put minimal effort in to get the most out of it?
No, I was just a bit lazy, I think.
Was that what it was?
I was a bit of a mess about.
And did you look up to anyone at that time? Was it like, I wouldn't mind being like that guy, or that guy in law's done really well, or this? Or was it a case of, did you have more of a business because you saw the money that the guy made in that case? What was your kind of inspiration to say, right, because there's one thing doing law, getting your degree, doing your bar course, whatever that you have to do to qualify. There's that, and then there's just working your local law firm, working your way up, whatever it is, paralegal, whichever you're doing. Or do you think, actually, I want to get into law because I want to make a shitload of money? Or were you actually interested in law? Because for me, if I look at it and think you were missing a lot of lecturers, weren't really showing up, how interested were you in law?
I'm not going to lie, back then I wasn't that interested. It was just,
right.
It was just about money.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Focus and try to make money.
Aye.
Now this has become my life.
Yeah, I can see.
This has become my life. So it's everything I do revolves around my work. So whatever I do, even this podcast now, I've got straight after this, I've got a client to come and see me. It's just my life now. So yeah, back then it was the money.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've made quite a lot of money from this profession, and I'm grateful. The Lord has blessed me with the ability to make money and go and help people, so I'm very grateful. Back then it was just about the money.
So once you qualified, obviously you've done your 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Was that at Maurice Andrews?
No,
different firm.
Yeah.
Can you remember your first case?
Yeah.
And what was that like? What was the experience like? Did you think, yeah, this is how it should have felt? Or
When
did
I
you
qualified?
feel like, yeah?
In my case, it was a case. See, I had a very difficult time when I was training. I got told I was good for nothing, I was useless, everything, all of that, everything you can imagine. I was called that. I actually didn't leave amicably. I had to just leave, get up and leave, because I was disrespected, I was degraded, but I don't want to get into all of that.
Yeah.
So at that point in my life, I was contemplating what to do. I was thinking, can I make it in law? Is this guy right? This is not for me. Because he was sitting there naming people that are successful in the profession and saying, because he asked me a question. He said, what are your plans, Mr. Yakoob? He said it sarcastically. And I said, I want to open my own law firm up very soon. I've not qualified yet even, so I'm talking like this. I've not qualified.
Yeah, of course.
I want to open my own law firm very soon, and I want it to be the busiest firm in Birmingham. He laughed at me and he said, do you think you can compete with, he named a few people, with these people. And they were quite big in the legal profession at the time. And my response was this. Them people that you've just mentioned, they can't compete with me when I'm up and running. You don't know me. You only know me for a year, 18 months.
Was that the hunger that you meant? You know when you said they can't compete with me?
Yeah.
They haven't got this fire.
Of course. Plus, I don't know. You know when somebody's disrespected and degraded?
You kind of want to prove them wrong anyway, don't you? Fuck them.
Yeah. You want to... So my main motivation was that. So when I left that place, I was thinking, no, I can't fail, because that guy's going to laugh at me and he's going to be thinking, remember when I told you?
Yeah, of course.
So anyway, I've walked into this place. This is a closing down firm, winding down. If I did not take this place over in 2016, October 2016, 2nd of October 2016, I took this place over, there would be no Maurice Andrews Solicitors. It would have been closed down.
And how long had you been qualified when you took the place over?
2.5 years.
2.5 years and you got your own firm?
Yeah. Fucking
hell, mate. That's a story. And how did you manage to do that, though?
Because when you have to be 3 years qualified to open a firm, by the way.
Right, okay.
So I managed to find I'll tell you what I did, loophole, if you can call it, but nothing wrong. I never did anything wrong. So I walked out of that firm, just around the corner that was. Mm-hmm. Came here, met Mr. Andrews. He's actually here today. Coincidentally, he's just walked through the door about half an hour ago, and I just met him. He's gone upstairs now. So he walks in whenever he wants. He lives in Jamaica, but he can come in whenever he wants. I've still got a desk for him upstairs. Mm-hmm. I said to him, whatever you need, my staff is your staff, whatever you need done, just, done. So the staff know when he comes, he's the big boss.
Yeah.
He can override my decisions in a sense. But anyway, I came in here. He said, look, I'm winding down, I'm closing down. And I said, well, I need a job. And he said, I'm not looking for no employees. I'm actually getting rid of the employees I already got. I said, okay, Maurice, because he says financially it's not viable for me.
Yeah, exactly.
So I said to him, okay, financially it's not viable for you, but what if I just come for free? He couldn't believe that I just said that, because he said, you're a qualified solicitor. You can go somewhere and you can demand £2,500, £3,000 a month. Why would you want to work for free?
Yeah. At this point, though, are you thinking, I want to take this firm over? This is my...
During that conversation, when he said, I want to retire, I had a look around and I said, God works in mysterious ways, man. Looked around and said, you know what? He wants to retire. I'm just starting my company. I'm just starting my career. Perfect. So we started working together, and he wasn't paying me, but I started bringing my own work in. I've had a good network since that's what I've been working on since school, college. I got along with everyone. You won't meet someone that doesn't like me or doesn't know me.
Yeah.
Especially in my local area. Mm-hmm. I'm a bit of a celebrity, but they like me.
Yeah,
they like
of
me.
Course.
Then I started bringing my own cases, and Maurice would pay me like a little commission base.
And can I just ask, how do you bring your own cases? How does that work?
How does it work? I mean,
how do you go and find a case?
You don't find the case. You tell people that
I'm working. I'm doing the soliciting thing.
I'm a solicitor now. Yeah. So if anybody's got an issue, so what I was doing, this is what I was doing. I was going to all the local roads, high streets in Birmingham. I was going and had cards on me. So anybody who I would see, whether it's Birmingham citizens, anybody, I'd say, here, I'm a solicitor, this is what I do. Take my card.
That's mad. That's proper hustling, that.
Yeah.
I bet you that doesn't happen with solicitors.
They're lazy, man.
I was going to say, I bet you they just qualify and...
Look, they have choices, isn't it? I could have made a choice and got comfortable with earning £3,000 a month, but then I would be killing my dreams, my ambitions. Exactly. So my dream was this. My dream, alhamdulillah, which basically means by the grace of the Almighty Lord, I've fulfilled what I used to think about.
Yeah.
What I used to...
You've accomplished your goals, haven't you?
Yeah.
Of course.
But then that doesn't mean that I slow down. I have to carry on now.
Well, they get bigger then, don't they?
Get more hungry. Yeah, you get more hungry. You can never get comfortable. Being comfortable is the killer of all dreams. So Maurice gave me a case when I first came here. Don't forget, I've now come from a background where I've been degraded and disrespected and all of that stuff. So I've not learned much at the other place. The only thing I got is a certificate of qualification, basically. Not learned nothing really, because when somebody degrades me, I can't go out my way for them.
Yeah, of course.
Do you get it?
You can't,
You can't degrade me and expect me to do something for you. I'm sorry.
No.
You can't. You can't. I mean, it's just
It's not right, is it?
as a man, you can't, isn't it? So with me, I'm that guy has taught me how not to treat my staff. I'm very good with my staff. They all love me. You can individually, you can just go to every single one of them.
I can tell anyway, just off the day.
You could tell them, and they like coming to work.
Yeah,
And some of them be here on Sundays without me telling them. So I'll come sometimes record videos and they're inside.
You can't even teach that, can you?
You can't.
No, you
Because
can't.
that's work rate, that is. Maurice gave me a file. I went, and I didn't know what to do. So he goes, this, Mr. Yakoob, you need to go to court Monday morning. I said, okay, what is it? You have to, I thought I'm just going to go and do a hearing and get directions and get dates. He goes, it's a trial. I have to go do a trial. I don't know how to do a trial. I don't know what to do. But I just grabbed the file and I
just went for it.
I just went for it.
What was the trial? Was it a big one?
Domestic violence.
Right, okay.
It wasn't nothing big. I went there, so I didn't know what to do. So I had to go to court, and I found somebody, I found a solicitor that I knew. And I said to her, look, I'm new. She knew I was a trainee anyway. She used to meet me when I was a trainee. So I go, look, I've qualified. He's just giving me a file to do a trial. I don't know what to do. So she told me what to do. She said, you have to, the prosecution bring their case first. You got to ask the the witnesses and their witnesses questions. And then it's the defense case. Then your client, you can ask him questions and he'll be cross-examined by the prosecutor after. And then you give a closing speech. And then that's it, really. I went there and won that case, and I thought to myself, wow, minimal preparation, didn't know. Literally an hour I had to play with. And I went and won the case, and I thought to myself, I must be good at this. It's about taking out the contradictions, isn't it, mainly? And
yeah. What made you think, what made you win that case, do you think? What was it about you that
confidence,
you think
again,
solicitor might not have?
Confidence.
Is that what it is?
I know 9 out of 10 solicitors at that moment in time wouldn't have even done that trial.
Why not?
Because they're scared of getting criticized in court by the judge or the magistrates. And if they say something wrong and all of that stuff. So,
but doesn't that come with a territory though? If you're in this job, surely you shouldn't be scared to take criticism from judges, magistrates.
I'll be honest with you, a lot of people are scared to go and advocate. I don't know why they're scared. The way I look at it,
why you're in the job if you
exactly. I'm telling you, it happens though. But the way I look at it is, the judge is not going to turn around and lock me up. The way it's going to happen is my client's going to suffer. But the thing is, you have to go on the basis. I'm not scared of nothing, in life. Nothing, the way I look at it is, I've been given the ability to talk to God when I sit and bow down to the Lord. I'm talking to God, aren't I?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm praying. So if I can do that, who's a judge? It's another human. I'm just having another conversation with him, like I'm talking to you now.
Yeah,
it's
of course,
not
exactly.
No, that's the mindset that I've got. I've just go in there and talk to him like a normal person. Don't think, yeah, judge this. Okay, manners and respect, that's different. That you show that to everyone. Mm-hmm. But you can't be scared to go. Yeah, sometimes you will probably say something wrong, or you will say something that's not wrong, but the judge doesn't like it.
Yeah, of course, exactly.
So it happens. So I went and grabbed the file. I went and won that trial. Then I did a second trial in Coventry Magistrates Court a couple of weeks later. I won that as well. And I thought, okay, I'm quite good at this. So I started building up my little client base whilst I was here. I've spent 2 years, I'm an old firm, 2 years here. So 4 years later, I've got a bit of a client base now. And during that period, I've spoken to Maurice a few times now, and I've said, look, I want to buy your firm. Silly figures, totally silly figures. I wasn't interested, but I knew I'd get around to it. I knew.
Did you think you'd have the money eventually?
I knew I'll get it from somewhere.
Yeah.
But I didn't know where from.
So when you were offering to buy the firm, you were kind of buying it without the money to buy it?
I was broke. I never had a single penny.
That's what's mad though, isn't it? How many, again, taking a risk. Having them conversations. Not many people want to have a conversation with someone about, can I buy your business off you?
When you don't have money?
No money.
Brother, I've done £1 million deals, over the phone without a single penny on me. So anyway, fast forward now, we're in September 2016. Maurice is giving me a figure that I've agreed on.
Mm-hmm.
We're sitting in his office upstairs in this very building. Shook hands on a figure. I'm happy with it. I saw the opportunity. I said, I'm not going to let this go. 2nd of October 2016, I took this firm over. If I waited till April 2017, I could have opened a fresh firm and wouldn't have cost me nothing.
What was it about this firm then? Do you think it was your loyalty to Maurice as well?
My loyalty to Maurice was one thing, but a well-established firm that's been around for 28 years is better than a fresh firm.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. So rather than waiting, a lot of people in my shoes, again, would have waited to open a fresh firm, couple of months, qualified, open a fresh firm, and start from scratch. But I think I got the head start, and I deserve the head start because of the decisions I made and because of the risks I took. So 2nd of October, I've come out of the room. God is my witness. I never had a single penny on me at that time, and I shook on that deal and I said, done. Then I got out, jumped in my car, and I thought to myself, I need to get the money together now. That's when the network comes into you, brother. So start making phone calls. Okay? Friends, I can help you. I need some money, brother. Anyway, managed to secure the deposit. A week late, 2 weeks later, I had the deposit ready for him. I never missed no deadlines with him. So we wrote up a contract and said, you have to give me this much by this day, this much by this day. At one point, I was £5,000 short. I had to go to Lloyd's Bank.
To borrow it.
They gave me $5,000 and gave him.
Did any through this journey? Did any part of you feel like you were taking a risk?
It was all a risk.
But did you think, or did you have it that you knew? You know what I mean? Because
I knew I'm going to do it, bro.
Yeah, that's it.
In my head, I knew.
Did you doubt yourself ever?
Never. I only doubted myself. Tell you when. April 2017. I've got overdrafts of £15,000 from Lloyd's Bank. I've used £13,500 of that. And then I was thinking, wow. In a few months, I have to pay these people back that I've just borrowed the money off for the business. I also have to pay my staff, which I never had much staff at the time. They all had left when Maurice went. And I thought at that time, done. But then again, I didn't think anything wrong of myself, or I wasn't hard on myself, because I thought, at least I gave you a shot, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Now I can still go and get a job.
Yeah, you've
still got I'm still qualified.
Exactly. Yeah. You've took a bigger risk than anyone else.
Yeah. So I thought to myself, so what? So what? People are going to laugh for a bit, so I'll do something else.
Yeah.
If this doesn't work, I'll do something else. That's what I was thinking in my head. But anyway, £13,500, £1,500 left for the overdraft only. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to probably close down soon. Anyway, God works in mysterious ways. £8,000 landed into my account. And that was it for a case. And that was from a case from Maurice.
And that kept you afloat.
That kept me afloat for a bit. A month later, I broke even, so I was on zero now, which is a big thing in that time. I had zero. I wasn't an overdraft. So May, I was on the zero mode, and that's it. Since then, I've not looked back, brother.
That is mental, mate.
I've not looked back. That was 5 years ago. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. That is absolutely crazy. Did Maurice see that in you? Do you think as well?
I think it did, you know.
Because surely when you were offering to buy, I mean, I'm assuming he didn't know your financial situation, but he probably would have had a good idea that a young lad who's worked for free for a bit, bringing cases in, hasn't got a lot of money to buy a firm offers.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? So because if it was me and I was Maurice, I'd be like, yeah, I appreciate your hustle and how inspiring and hungry you are, but realistically, are you going to get this money? Like, you know what I mean? So to have...
you know what? I have to give it to Maurice because he believed in me.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main thing. Like,
and he gave me his name. That's his name.
Yeah.
That's his name.
Yeah, he sold you his identity, hasn't he?
That's his name, man. But he's happy from me. I can tell you that. He's proper happy. He loves
Do you ever see the other people from the other firms who doubted you?
Yeah, I see loads of them, and I don't talk to no one.
It's mad, that, isn't it? How did you, can I just ask, when you get into this industry, obviously being a solicitor like yourself, and especially now a high profile one, which we'll get onto, did your friends or circle change around you? Because now effectively you're part of the law. Do you know what I mean? Does everyone see you as, their friend, or do they see you as an enemy? How does it work when you actually become, I'm a guy who defends people? Do people want to know you, or do people stay away from you?
Works both ways. The people who know me anyway, personally, they know what I'm about. A lot of people, I think they just do it for clout. Oh, this person is defending criminals, is not a good person and stuff like that. I feel sorry for them people because they just, I think they just got resentment in their heart for no apparent reason. I've personally not done anything to no one. If I'm defending someone who's been accused of a crime, they've got a right to have a fair trial. And if you are sitting here or sitting at home accusing somebody of being guilty of a crime, shame on you, because why is the law made for? You don't deserve to live in the UK then if you feel that everybody's guilty as soon as they get arrested or as soon as they get charged.
It's a fair point, that.
It's true.
Do you, if someone approaches you with a case and you feel like it's a bit like you don't want to be associated with a case, would you still take it on? Or would you take any case on? You know, if it was a crime which was a really dodgy crime and you thought, actually, I mean, all crimes clearly are dodgy in some way, but, you know, do you ever think, I don't want to associate myself with that?
Yeah.
So is the things you will just turn around?
Of course, like if somebody gets done for a racist attack on a Muslim, for example.
Yeah, of course.
Morally, I can't take that case.
I
can't, because I'm a Muslim myself. So there's circumstances that I have turned cases away.
You know what, mate? I've never actually thought of it like that. That's a mad one, that.
My religion comes first. Before
that's mad, isn't it? The religion comes before the law, isn't it? Really?
Of course, yeah. Before anything.
Yeah. That's mad. It's mad to think of it that way, but that's understandable. Everyone's got their own morals, you know what I mean? And that's inspiring, mate, to be fair. The TikTok stuff and the social media, mate, obviously because you've built up a successful firm, you're where you are now, kind of get away from your online every time I open my phone, you're there. Why did you bring that into it? Why did you start creating videos? Because again, not every solicitor, lawyer, or anyone in this industry really is making these type of things. I mean, you've seen a lot of professional people now come out. You know, it could be doctors and stuff. You've seen surgeons who are doing little. I
think I first started the trend off. You know,
I think you did.
I'm not just talking about lawyers.
Yeah,
I'm talking about just professionals
in general. And what made you do it then? Because again, you're doing a podcast and then you've got a client later. Like, it's almost crazy to think that someone as successful as you is dedicating time to social.
See, it's about helping people as well. It's not about just, of course, it's marketing. Social media is free marketing.
Yeah.
And if nobody is taking advantage of it, what are you doing? If you've got a business and you're not on social media and you're not on the internet, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely. So it's marketing. And I like to, marketing, I don't leave no stones unturned. And I'm very busy right now and I still spend a lot of money on a monthly basis on my marketing.
Yeah, of course.
I could just sit back and think, but no. Even big multinational companies like Coca-Cola are still marketing.
Yeah, I think they spend about 6 million a month, don't they? On
something like that. Crazy, I've read something. So it was that element of it, the marketing element. And secondly, I saw a lot of people on social media, clowns, brother, like full-on clowns, and they're gaining followers and they're gaining traction. And I thought to myself, okay, if I build up a bit of a following, I worked on a 1% basis. Mm-hmm. Even if those 1% of my followers recommend me to other people in terms of cases and law if they get into trouble, done. It's paid for itself.
That's it, like, isn't it? Did you feel when you made that first? Can you remember the first video you made? How did that feel? What was it?
There was too much ums and ahs, you know, when you're talking. It was this basically. People have a misconception that they have to volunteer information to the police. That is not correct. You have a right to remain silent, and you can exercise that right. Let me give an example of a case I dealt with, in which 4 people were arrested for blackmail. 3 of those people, based on my advice, were no comment in the interview. There was no further action taken against them. The 4th person spoke in interview, denied the offense, but still admitted being at the scene. He is currently serving an 11-year custodial sentence. He is not my client. Remember, there's a defense for every offense. That was my first video.
And is that how you come up with a strap line as well?
Sorry.
In that, was it kind of off the cuff?
No. The cuff line, sorry. That first video, good job you brought that up, sorry. That first video did not have that line in there. The first video was just that. It's finished off with, he was not my client. The second video I made, that had the line in there. And they had 2 lines in there. So then I thought I had to pick one of them. The first line was this. I was talking about a trial. So a trial is basically when a jury decides which version of events they feel is the truth or they feel is better, the prosecution version or the defense version. The prosecution's job is to prove the case. Our job is to defend. We don't have to prove anything. All we have to do is create a doubt in the jury's head. And when there's a doubt, you're coming out.
That's quality.
And always remember there's a defense for every
that.
offense. That was the second or third video. And I chose the defense for every offense.
Yeah.
As you know.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's probably some dodgy connotations attached to coming out now, and especially with everything going on in the world. That's mad, mate. So, do you remember when you posted that, and what was the feedback like? Will you be honest? Were you like, oh shit, like I'm putting myself out now, like?
I didn't know. I knew a lot of people would laugh and stuff like that, but I've never cared about that stuff.
What was where did you put it? Instagram.
Instagram.
How was the response? Did it go off straight away, or was it just shit? Was it?
It went off after about a week, First it wasn't, and then after a week,
It just went up.
my brother Ants from I'm Just Bait,
Aye.
he posted it.
Shut up, man.
Yeah.
That's mad, that.
And then he just went viral.
And then from there, you thought, I've got to do more and more.
And then a couple of other meme pages, Umar Sounds. I just started appearing on all of them.
It's mad that, because you said it yourself, like you became a bit of a celeb in your area. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you get noticed for your social media?
Yeah, everywhere I go. Different countries as well. Everywhere I go.
So
airports, I get noticed quite a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you get celebrities who reach out to you now because of the Instagram thing?
Yeah, of course.
So do you feel like because of that social media thing, you get bigger cases?
Of course. See, the cases wise, I think the main guys, they won't be on TikTok and Instagram, the proper real hardened criminals.
Yeah, of course.
But their friends will. So their friends will probably tell them and stuff like that. So yeah, of course.
That's a fair point. That. Do you ever go into court? Because again, we'll use the celebrity because you are a figure now, public figure. When you go into court, do you ever feel like that goes against you? Do you ever feel a little bit embarrassed, or do you ever feel, not that you should feel embarrassed because it's amazing what you're doing, but do you ever go into court thinking the judge is going to think I'm this Instagram bloke now and they're not going to take us seriously? Does that ever, do you know what I mean?
I think that I'll be taken more seriously now. Because I've had senior barristers coming up to me and said, Mr. Yakoob, can I get a picture with you? And stuff like that. So it's a bit of, I'm grateful.
Yeah.
I think I'll get more recognized, but it could work both ways. To be fair, it's a double-edged sword, because think about it. Some people think that I'm inciting criminal behavior and I'm making defenses for people, which is not the case. I simply follow clients' instructions. But the general public seem to get that wrong idea. So I don't know. A jury member could probably see me and think that's the guy.
I think that,
and he probably made this up for him.
Yeah,
I don't know if they can think.
But I think one of the strongest benefits to you doing what you're doing and who you are now is, in my mind, surely the prosecution will be very observant that they don't make any mistakes, because you're gonna.
We'll snap him up.
Exactly,
100%.
Do you know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. If they make one fall, one wrong, because they make mistakes, don't they? You know what I mean?
Of course, they're not God.
And I suppose, like, when you're in there, your idea is effectively to identify the mistakes. And as you said, I say in the podcast, it's just to muddy the waters a bit, isn't it? And that's what I mean. I think I love that analogy, actually. Yeah. I think that's the beauty, isn't it? Do you think, is that all you have to do, really, to help a client get the best kind of sentence, or to get the best punishment, if you like, or whatever? Is that
sometimes it's damage limitation, because sometimes clients do plead guilty.
Mm-hmm.
But at a trial, like I said about the water, it's a doubt. All we need is a doubt. We need to create that doubt, plant that doubt in the jury's mind. That's our job.
Do you ever, just a question to you, Ahmed, do you ever have a client, right? And do you ever go into the room, do you ever have a client go into the room, go in the courtroom with them, and think, do you know what, like, this is going to go bad for them? But you don't want to tell them that, because obviously you don't want to knock their confidence. Or is it not like that? Is it a case of more, if you have a client and you're doubtful, you'll be honest. You'll say, look,
I'm honest,
I think you're going to prison here, like. Or do you try and keep the confidence up, because you don't want them to fucking...
Not always, no. You can't sugarcoat anything, because these guys, they know, they're men.
Yeah.
And if you're a real man, you know what you've done, innit?
Yeah.
And you're serious, you have to take it.
Do you see the lies or not?
I could see right through them sometimes, and I'd be like, calm down, mate.
Yeah.
The prosecution is saying this, so my job is mainly to look at the case and tell them, my clients, how I feel about the case, how strong the prosecution case is, how weak the prosecution case is, what the prosecution will be able to prove and what they won't be able to prove. And based on that, I will advise you and say, this is how I feel. Now you tell me what your instructions are based on that.
Do you ever get clients who, you know, they can't face the punishment? Like they know they're literally breaking, they're like, I can't go to prison. And how do you deal with that?
Them are really bad. And they like, I don't know, they've got a lot of resentment towards the police and the prosecution, where I'd be like, that's their job. They've got a job to do. Yeah. They're not against you. Anybody who would have been charged for this offense or suspected of this offense would have been treated the exactly same way you're being treated.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not their fault you're here.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Like,
I have to explain that, or I have to instill that into their minds. And then a lot of people can't take the fact that the evidence is strong against them, and there's nothing that can be done. Mm-hmm. Yes, if you want to have a trial, go have a trial. But if the evidence is strong, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say, no, the evidence is weak and I feel I'm going to win this case. No, that's not my style. Mm-hmm. This is the misunderstanding that people have about me. They think they're going to come here and I'm going to wave a magic wand and try to get a not guilty plea. It doesn't work like that, man. All I can do is advise based on the evidence. If there's evidence there in black and white, I can't change it. That's what I say.
Yeah.
I'm not a magician. I'm a legal tactician.
Okay, he's fuller than this lad, isn't he? That's fucking mint, mate. That's absolutely mint, that. So if someone is kind of you just advise them properly, don't you?
I have to.
You kind of make miracles.
It's better to do it at the start. I've lost work.
Have you?
I've lost work like that, but I don't care. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I know solicitors that sit there and lie.
This is all you're facing.
They'll say, nah, there's nothing. What's that? There's no evidence. I'll get you off that. No problem. You know, just to get the client.
To get the money.
Yeah, just to get the money. Yeah. Just the client is very bad. That is.
It's wrong, though,
You're playing with people's lives here.
I know.
Like me, I went to a police station for a murder a couple of years ago. Last year, the year before. And the client said, what am I looking at? I said, 25 years. And he went like this. I said, what's wrong? I'm telling you the truth. You're being questioned, and most likely there's a high likelihood that you will be charged with murder. So what kind of sentence do you think you will receive if you get convicted?
Mm-hmm. And they're expecting fucking out.
Exactly. And then I tell them that, look, then they feel, do you think we're going to get found not guilty at trial? And I told that guy, it's going to be difficult. That same guy, he wanted to transfer away from me, and then he changed his mind. He said, I'll stick with you. He got off the murder.
Fucking hell.
Got off the murder, not guilty. But I couldn't give him a guarantee. I felt that case was strong for the prosecution. Mm-hmm. He got off the murder. He pleaded guilty to a manslaughter. He got 8 years.
And if he went with someone else, you just don't know, do you?
You don't know. That's the thing. So I've had people falling out with me. I've lost work because of my honesty. But I'm not going to change for no one.
Do you ever get any, from the other side of the victim, do you ever get any hate from them? You know, if you maybe he's dropped a charge to manslaughter, do you ever have any? It could be a personal attack.
I made a video. Outside Birmingham Crown Court where my client, I get exactly the scenario that you've just mentioned. It was a murder. He got found guilty for manslaughter in the end. The victim was a young lad. Mm-hmm. He was a young lad. I made a video about the result. I'm not saying that my client did the right thing or, you know, inciting criminal behavior, anything like that. I'm not doing that. I simply advertised my result when I said, okay, this guy had been charged with so-and-so, and based on our meticulous preparation and eye for detail, they couldn't convict him on the murder, so they convicted him on the manslaughter. I started getting phone calls.
Threats and that?
Threats, yeah. People saying, you know, all sorts of threats, saying, we're going to... come and do this to you, come and do this to you. See, a lot of people on the phone, they can say certain things, but when I see them, they won't have the same energy. So I'm not worried about what people say behind my back or on the phone. And they were asking me to delete the video. I said, no, I won't delete no video. That's my social media, it's not yours. You can't dictate.
Has anyone ever caught up with you in person?
No.
About they try to pull you after court or anything like that?
No, I don't. See, as a man, you need balls to do that. I'm not saying I'm a big time fighter or anything like that, but you need balls to come and stop a person and say, oh, you're doing wrong, this, that, because I will speak back. You know, especially face to face. I'm not going to just walk away. Although I've got no energy or time to argue with people.
Yeah.
But if somebody comes into my face and starts confronting me, I will talk back and I will answer back. And
What's your most memorable case?
my most memorable case was 2018. It was a case of a conspiracy to possess firearm with intent to endanger life. 9 people won that case. 1 person got found not guilty, and that was my client. It's on my social media. It's on my Instagram, 2018, one of the old posts.
And what was it about you that got your client off and the rest didn't?
I'll tell you what. That case was simply based on a mobile phone. The mobile phone assisted us hugely. And they just say the case is about to start on a Monday.
Yeah.
We're now requesting disclosure from the prosecution. Disclosure is the evidence. So we wanted extra disclosure. And I wanted the mobile phone. I wanted my client's mobile phone. A report, a USB containing my client's mobile phone. After numerous applications and requests, the prosecution finally on Thursday send a police officer to my office with the USB of that download. So they thought, I can't say what they thought, but I think they must have thought that I'm just going to put that in the file and I'll look at it and leave it. I looked at that. It was over 23,000 pages, I think, in there. Took me hours and hours.
You actually just went through it all.
I had to go through it all. So I phoned my client up. I go, come in.
Can I just ask, at this point, were you trying to look for any last minute evidence to help him?
Yes.
Is that why?
Yes. So I called my client. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm at home. I said, okay, come to the office. This is in the evening now. We're in the evening, 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, you know. Normal people who close the office and go home. I said, no. Sat there. We left the office that day about 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
Wow. Yeah. Going through everything with him.
Everything. And by the time I had left, he left with a big smile on his face, and so did I.
What happened?
I was going through the WhatsApps, my client's WhatsApp. And on the day in question, where my client had been seen going to the scene of the crime, doing a recce, a recreation of, so what they did was they went to scope out the property where they were going to shoot at later. My client was seen there, you know, by police officers. They were under observation. At that time, he had a football game planned. I seen messages on his WhatsApp in the group, the football group, from his coach saying, no football today, pitch has been waterlogged. And the timing was, at the time, they were seeing about similar time, the football game would have been happened. So I looked at that and I smiled. My client said to me, what are you smiling for? Because the first time I've seen him smiling since this case. I said, I think I found something. And said, what? So he sat on my computer. And I showed him the WhatsApps. He said, yes, there was a football game. I was about to go football that day. So I go, how come you never went? He said, because the coach said the pitch was waterlogged, so it's cancelled. So I go, if the football game was on, you wouldn't have gone there, would you have? He goes, no. So I said, you were there by chance and not choice, was you? He said, yes. He goes, if there was football, I wouldn't have gone anywhere. Go over the plans after the football. He goes, the Villa game was on and we wanted to go and watch the Villa game with my nephew. I go, did you go? He goes, yeah. So I go, after you went to that place with the police or you went to the Villa game? He goes, no, I didn't go to the game physically. We watched the Villa game at home with my nephew. I said, okay. The killer mindset. I was thinking, where's the killer mindset here? Anyway. So I done all of that. I made reports and charts of the phone. We went to court. And we demonstrated how much of a good citizen my client was. So we found other evidence on the phone of him applying for a mortgage to buy a house with his partner, looking for holidays, nothing relation to firearms, but there was a conversation between him and the co-defendant, the one that was found with a gun with over 100 bullets, about some money. So he said, yeah, that's my friend. You know, I did give him money. He wanted money. I gave him. Then he was talking to people inside the prison who actually called the hit. He said, again, they're my friends. They phone me when they want stuff from prison, like clothes and stuff like that. They phone me and I give it to them. That's not illegal.
Mm-hmm.
I had a trial, 6-week trial. Got found not guilty. The only one.
And what was the charge initially? What were they trying to charge him with?
Conspiracy to murder.
Right. Okay.
And then they eventually charged him with conspiracy to possess firearm with intent to endanger life and transferring a firearm. So he got found not guilty. But I'm not bigging myself up, blowing my own trumpet here. If I didn't go through that mobile phone, he would be inside prison now.
Do you think the prosecution tried to keep that evidence?
Yeah, of course. They always do it.
Are they allowed to do that?
They're not allowed to do it, but what they say is we've given sufficient disclosure to have a trial. They don't need anything else.
But did they know what was on that mobile phone?
Of course,
and they knew that could have got
I don't think they would have. I'm not going to sit here and lie and diss them for no reason. I don't think they would have gone through that many pages.
Yeah, of course.
I don't think they would have.
Right, okay. So it's keeping evidence, but not really keeping evidence.
Yeah, it's just making our life more difficult.
Yeah, that's
basically.
What's your relationship like with the police?
I love the police because at the end of the day, if my house gets burgled or robbed, or my wife gets robbed or carjacked, the first person I will phone is the police. And the first person you will phone, or the first people you will phone is the police.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So I love the police. I've got no issue with the police. And the police actually love me. I was in, wherever I go, police officers stop and take pictures with me, which I'm very grateful for. I've got nothing against them. They're doing their own job. The police are doing their own job. The prosecution are doing their own job. We're doing our own job of defending.
Yeah, of course you are.
The police investigate, the prosecution prosecute, and we defend. May the best man win, innit?
How much of what you do is business and how much of it is because you really wanted to sink your teeth into a case? Because for me, just the way my mind is, I like to help people, but I also know that there's business to be made. In my business, the Content PT, it's what I do. I create content for people like yourself, brands, fitness brands, whichever brands you are and you want to get yourself on social media, it's what I do. But I also know there's got to be a type of person who I want to work with, for one. So I'm not just willing to help anyone, because that's not what it's about. I want to work with a type of person, and then the deal's got to be right. Is that the same with you? Or if someone says, Ahmed, look, I want to be, I want you to defend us. This is what I've got. Do you just get, yeah, okay, the deal's right? Or is it a case of, no, I want to look, I want to know what you're about. Then we'll look at it.
No, with criminal law, it's a bit different because we have to make quick decisions, you see.
Yeah, of course.
And it depends how, first of all, the funding of the case, it depends how and who's funding the case. Mm-hmm. Depends a lot on that because there's something called legal aid. Are you aware of the... do you know what legal aid is, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So if it's a case that is being funded by legal aid, then you have to basically submit legal aid quite quickly and jump on the case, then you're actually representing the guy.
But they don't get a choice, do they?
They do.
With legal aid, do they get a choice as well?
You can instruct me from Sunderland under legal aid. But of course, it depends on what case is it. I'm not going to come down all the way to Sunderland for a criminal damage. But if it's like a murder case or a big drugs case, I don't mind travelling.
And so okay then. So for that, what's the reason you wouldn't go for criminal damage?
Because you don't get paid.
Is that what it is?
You will get paid, but a couple of £100 it costs more in fuel.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's mad that, isn't it?
Yeah,
where's the furthest you'd go to defend someone?
Anywhere in England and Wales. I've represented people in Brighton. I've represented people in Carlisle. I've represented people in Newcastle.
Yeah. That's
Preston.
What's
Sunderland. Middlesbrough.
What case do you prefer? What type of cases?
Drugs.
Is it?
Yeah.
What was it about them?
See, the way...
Do you think because there's a business element in drugs as well, isn't there? People who sell drugs and that, you see that they've either got people working for them, there's certain things going on. Do you think that kind of element where there's loads of moving parts? And it's more the cases...
I think it's because it's my main speciality are drugs and murder cases. With the drugs cases or other cases apart from murder, but mainly drugs cases, at least you know that individual is going to come out of prison one day.
Yeah.
Regardless of the result, he's going to come out one day. But the murder person, you're never going to see him, unless you go to prison and see him, but you're never going to see him on the outside 9 times out of 10.
How much do you speak to people who have went to prison?
Depends what kind of relationship I've got with them. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I've become very close with clients, because I've worked with them so much and I've seen them so much. You build a relationship connection with them, don't you?
Because I was going to ask there as well, how much of, for me, because again, I'm not from that world, but for me, I would be scared to build a relationship with someone who I know could be going away for a long time. Because it's almost like you want to do the best by them, but you know that the evidence is there. I can damage limit.
You have to have a bit of a relationship, don't you?
Yeah,
to be able to communicate with that person and to work with them, isn't it?
So is it tough, that?
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like, I had a conviction for a murder that day, and to be fair, over the year, I've been, seeing this client on a regular basis, video links almost every week, sometimes traveling up to London to see him in prison in person. And the thing is, I've been telling him from day one that it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard to win the case. So he kind of like had that seed planted from day one.
Mm-hmm.
He was very resentful towards the police and the prosecution, but he's in prison now, and I've told him what's happening. He hasn't been sentenced yet; he's just been convicted, and I've told him what I think he's going to get, and he's spoken to me. I've had a video link with him, but I find it hard to keep seeing him. There's nothing else to do. Sometimes it's hard to tell the client that, look, it's done now. Just have to sit there and serve your sentence.
How do most people react when they get bad news?
It depends who's in. I've seen people cry.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people cry. I've seen people at the same time getting 25 years for murder, and they'll smile.
Yeah.
Just depends what they like, what the character's like.
That's crazy. Is there any other cases, Ahmed, that we're going to talk about? Obviously, you don't have to talk about the specifics of the case, but is there anything, when you told us about that one there, about that one where your client...
yeah, another case was a couple of £1 million fraud that I did up in Southern Crown Court in London.
Mm-hmm.
Massive fraud case. And this client had come to me from a different firm. So he wasn't happy with his existing firm, and he came to me. And it was a case that money landed into this guy's account. And his explanation was this, that he's selling a business. So these people who are buying this business of him accidentally overpaid him.
Right.
And he had to give some money back and whatnot. And I thought, look, the story or the explanation you're telling me, I genuinely thought that, you wouldn't stand in court.
Mm-hmm.
We went to court, got found not guilty. Sometimes it happens. Let me give you this case. You like it definitely, because there was a guy I represented for Section 18, wounding with intent, serious case. Injuries were bad. He was looking at 7 to 8 years in prison at least. I advised the client, and I said to him, look, it's probably better if we enter the guilty plea and do it early. So damage limitation, you'll get a lesser sentence. He said, no, I want to have a trial. I said, okay, if you want to have a trial, we'll have a trial then. Had a trial. The guy got found not guilty. Guess what he's doing now, the guy?
What?
He's going to be qualifying as a solicitor in the next 6 months.
Get in. That's what you want, isn't it? Isn't that mad? Do you think you've inspired him?
I know I've inspired him. After the case, he said, I don't know how you did that, Mr. Yakoob, but I want to be like you. I said, okay. He goes, what do I need to do? Well, I told him what he needs to do in terms of studying. So he studied.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to uni. He got his qualifications. And then they wouldn't let him on to the legal practice course, what you have to do after the degree. And I had to make representations for him to get him in. He got in. And then I genuinely thought he's not going to pull it off, but he came back with the qualifications. And then he said, you promised me a job, Mr. Yakoob.
Do you know what, right? So people... Because I think especially how you've put it across, and I don't know if it is in your world, but it certainly comes across now. It's quite sexy, this field. It's quite like, you're working with cases, you're doing interesting things, you're driving nice cars, you can make a lot of money. Not everyone does. You've got to work hard.
You've got to work hard, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. How hard do you work? For people who don't know, how hard do you work to get to the level that you have?
I still work about 12, 13 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
Still.
5-6 days a week?
7
days a week?
7 days, yeah. Every single day I'm working.
And do you see the days, any part of the days where you're sick and you don't want to do it anymore? Or do you still enjoy it? Is it
I love it. But the thing is, I don't want to get too comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that the wolf at the bottom of the hill is more hungrier than the wolf at the top. So
that's true. Like, isn't
if
it?
I slow down, people are going to catch up.
He's gonna bite your ass.
So
That's the thing, isn't
that's
it?
why I'm just at it till I've got the energy, till I've got the enthusiasm. I'm going to carry on.
Would you advise anyone else in this industry to make social media content?
Yeah, of course. In any industry,
Mm-hmm.
I think social media content is good. Plus, you're educating people for free.
Yeah,
And they
that's
like
it.
it.
Do you? I've seen you drive the flash cars. You got a Lambo? Have you still got a Lambo?
Got 2 Lambos.
You got 2 Lambos, right? So, what is it? What is it about you that can have that lifestyle over other people in this industry?
The hunger,
Yeah,
the hard work, the grit, the discipline. By discipline, I don't mean, do something for a week. You do something for 10 years on the trot. And then if you fail, you can say you haven't tried.
yeah.
Yeah. So I've been getting out of bed at 5 a.m. for the last 10 to 13 years. And I've been going to sleep in the early hours of the morning for the last 10 to 13 years. So if I fail, then I said, okay, I've tried now. I can fail. They don't have it inside them to work hard. I'll be honest with you, not a lot of
that's
people.
it. Like,
Especially people who go and get academic qualifications and they're on academic fields, for example, doctors, lawyers, dentists, accountants. They don't have the hard work in them. I'll be honest with you. They want the easy lifestyle.
that's why they get the qualifications, do the job.
Exactly. And they work for somebody and they just carry on. My mindset was, no, I don't want to work for somebody. I want people to work for me.
That's it, like, isn't it? Because I see
You have to have a mindset.
you go in the gym, you train as well, don't you? So
Every day, man.
You're up, you're at 5, you're in the gym, you've got content, you've got podcasts, you're doing murder cases. Fucking hell, mate. You're doing 7 days a week, 30 hours. Like, to anyone listening or watching, there's no wonder why you have the success you have.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And even that's not guaranteed.
that's not
Do
guaranteed.
you get what I'm saying? Do you ever fear that could all be taken away from you? Or do you feel like you're in your zone now?
I'm always scared.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always scared that the Lord can take away anything or everything you have in a matter of seconds. I'm a strong believer in that. Everything that you've got is from the Lord. Everything I've got has been gifted to me from the Lord. It's not mine. Even this life that we have is from the Lord. The Lord can stop you breathing in any second when He wants. So you can lose your life whenever the Lord feels like you should lose it. So if I start getting arrogant and if I start getting lazy, if I stop working hard, if I stop encouraging people to work hard and be grateful that the Lord has bestowed His blessings upon us and all other human beings, if I stop doing all of that, I'm scared. I would be scared that the Lord can take it away. No human can take anything away from you. It's all the Lord.
I agree with that, bro. Do you get jealousy?
A lot of jealousy I get.
Do you? Social media or in person?
Social media, and then in person you'll meet that person or those people now and again that will drop a snidey, sarcastic comment. They'll do it as a joke, but there are a lot of people that can't be straight up with you, so they'll make a sarcastic little joke and show their little hatred and negativity. But I'm wise enough now to understand nobody will ever come, like I said, nobody will ever come to my face and say things. I don't know why it's never happened yet, and I hope it doesn't happen. Social media, again, these are keyboard warriors, so I don't really care about them. If you haven't got people talking behind your back, then you're not doing something right. The people who are talking about you are below you. Nobody who's above you or doing better than you in life will be talking about you or being negative about you. And they say the loudest boos come from the seats that are the furthest away. So the people who are talking bad about you, they can't join you at ringside. That's why they're doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel sorry for them in a way.
No, mate, I agree with that. Do you
feel sorry for them?
Do you think that in your firm, do you think what you do is inspiring people?
Of course.
And you think that's what kind of eggs each other on and keeps pushing each other on?
Of course, I inspire my staff. I inspire anybody who I meet. I try to inspire them. And I talk good about everyone. I try to get a positive vibe going wherever I am. I try to surround myself with positive people, with positivity. I keep away from negative people. Anybody who says to me, For example, if I pitch a business idea and they turn around and say it's not going to work, that means that person is not going to be working with me again.
Yeah.
I'm like that. Negativity, just can't stand it, bro.
Have it around you, mate.
I can't stand
no,
it.
mate, I agree. I'm exactly the same.
You
mate.
know what I mean.
Of course I do, mate.
But you're a hustler, I could tell. So
What is it?
Real recognize real.
I want to know actually while I've got you. What is it about me that you can recognize the hustle? Like, why do you think I'm a hustler?
You're smiling, you're positive, you've come down all the way from Sunderland, brother. 4-hour drive. I appreciate that hugely. And you've told me what you do. You don't need to do this podcast.
Yeah.
Which is the truth. You're doing it because you enjoy it. The thing is, you could be doing content now for, famous people, for celebrities, for singers, fitness people, whatever. But you're here doing a podcast with me.
I appreciate that, mate.
What you're doing is, you're making a network.
Bro, I just want to ask you, I want to wrap it up, but I want to ask you this. Obviously, you've been in a position where you wanted to buy this firm. You had no money in your pocket when you left. To driving supercars, doing everything you do, whether it's materialistic goals, whether it's just the hunger inside you, has success and money changed you?
No, I'm exactly the same person, characteristic-wise, what I was when I was a young child. Exactly the same. I'm friendly, easy to get along with, always helpful. I'm exactly the same. And you can, I don't just say that. People who I grew up with will tell you that as well. So I've not changed. But I have changed in one way. And I tell everyone and encourage this to everybody. If the Lord blesses you financially, you raise your standard of giving and not living.
Yeah, I like that.
Try and help other people. I've got the lines, haven't I?
Yeah, he's full of them today, isn't he? He's absolutely full of them. Does it feel how you thought it would feel? When you were that hungry lad, when you told your mates, I'm going to smash it when I'm older.
Yeah, it's nice, man.
Do you feel like you've smashed it?
It's yeah, alhamdulillah.
You've 100% smashed it, brother.
Amazing, bruv. And I was sitting with one of the lads who works for me that day, and within the space of about half an hour, I must have received 20 phone calls, and I was just like, yes, don't worry, I'll sort that out, bam. So by the time I'm putting one phone call down, another one is coming.
Yeah, it's mad, that, mate.
Right now, I've got it on Do Not Disturb, so it won't come. So he said, how do you do it? I said, I love it. When people are asking me for advice, they're phoning me, they've got my number on speed dial, they're coming to me for advice. I'm helping people change lives. It's next level. That feeling you get is amazing. The best feeling that I can get in this profession is when you hear those two words, not guilty. Brother,
it's amazing.
Dopamine, better than sex. Telling you.
Fucking hell. Right, if someone's in trouble, mate, where can they find you, mate?
Maurice Andrew Solicitors. Just Google us. Instagram, Akhmed Yakoob, Maurice Andrew Solicitors. I even started doing YouTube content. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, man. You put all your stuff on shorts and stuff on that, don't you?
Shorts I put it on, and I make one sort of a bit of lengthy video where I go into depth. Every 2 weeks, I try to do that, about 5-6 minute video. So whatever I speak about on the shorts and the reels, I can go a bit in depth. Because all them questions I get on my TikTok and stuff like that, I'd rather answer them.
Because I want to point that out as well, mate, for people who don't know you and people who don't know even the law, and maybe they've just did a crime last night or today or whatever when they hear this, and they're going through that, oh shit, who do I pick? From me personally, bro, sitting across the table from you, you wanna speak to people and you want to be represented by people who are good people with the right intentions. I think that's the main fucking thing. And I can tell with all your success, you're still humble. You're about that, and you're willing to help people. So,
thank you, brother.
No, honestly,
again,
mate,
you have to be humble, like I said, because what God gives, God can take
away. Thank you for your time, mate.
Thank you very much. Just before I go, I want to say thank you very much again for your time. And this goes for everyone. You need to remember there's a defense for every offense.